Tech for Seniors, episode 70. Oh, wow. 70. This is July the 26th. We have 80 people in the audience. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. As I said, your enthusiasm keeps us going. We have, of course, we're streaming this over to YouTube as well, and we have a bunch of people watching. So even though everybody is getting ready for their summer, COVID sort of is passing us in some ways. I'm getting company this weekend and company the next weekend. So starting to open up a bit. Life is getting back to normal, and we still have a solid group of people watching and listening to what we have to say. I think that's probably based on the great people that we have working on the show every week, which is really thank you to all our staff and everybody that puts the thousands and thousands of hours into making this show with all the programs that we've written, all the articles. Last week we talked about YouTube Premiere, and I talked about going back and looking at some of the content that we have, and it was a huge success. Thank you. We had over 60 people not necessarily watch the show initially, but watch the show. And one of the concerns that I've always had is that we've made, and literally thousands and thousands of hours that all of us put into making these videos, and we do this because we want them used, and we want you to use them in your clubs. We want to use them in your computer clubs. We want them out there for you. So the Premiere service that we started is taking what was done a year ago and putting it in a short capsule, like a 20-minute video of interesting topics of that particular week. And I'm going to try and keep it to about 20 minutes. And some weeks it might be Bob, and other weeks it'll be Hewie or myself. It could be Dewey, it could be Ray, it could be Bill. I mean, any of the segments that are out there, we'll try and pick the most interesting 20 minutes of that segment and put it out there for you. And this will be shown as the premiere at hour. And so this week coming up, we have episode 14A. You probably don't remember a year ago, but I talked on secure doorbells. We talked on doorbell cameras and which version of Ring to buy if you're interested in Ring doorbell. Hewie talked on a number of things. He talked on the two that he's going to talk about. One was called Flip, which is a service where you can get your digital coupons. And then he also talked about something very interesting, which was it was the what the heck was it called? It was a streaming service. It was called Suppose TV. Sorry, I can't read my writing. Suppose TV, and it was to help you choose which streaming service that you want. So those those three articles will be there, and they'll start streaming today on the Premiere service at 10:30. And if you don't know how to get there, just go to www.techforsenior.com. Click on the streaming button there, and it'll take you right to our channel. And there it will start at 10:30. Speaking of streaming services, I want to take this time to thank Dewey so much for doing those three articles on streaming services. Those have been shown, well, I guess, around the world. And I daily get comments on wow, that was great, and what great article those were. So those were three excellent, very current, very timely shows that he did recently, the last three on streaming services. So well done, Dewey. He has an interesting one for you today. I still haven't seen the steaks yet, so I'll talk to him in a minute yet. I still want to find out about his barbecue. He's being tight-lipped about this, so I don't know if he's having a good time with it or not. But I'm sure we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So thank you so much for doing that. This week, as you know, Tech for Senior Live is on Thursday. We're having a really good time with that. And by popular request, of course, we have this week, Chris Gould will be on from Geeks on Tour. She'll be our guest. We had Bill James last week, and that was always fun. Bill has lots of tech gadgets. We're all a lot more gadgets coming, so we'll never run out of gadgets. So we're all having lots of fun with that. Anyway, Chris Gould will be here, and they've been traveling all across the United States, so she's gonna be. It should be fun to listen and see what she has to say. And she'll, of course, bring us up on any Google Photo stuff. So if you're around on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, please come and listen to us talk tech for about an hour. That would be great. This week, thank you so much to Sue. Sorry, Sue, I don't know your last name, but Sue gave a donation this week to our coffee fund. And then Hewie, you got a new machine. Did you want to mention your new machine?
Yeah, I bought a 200, you can't see it with the background, a $250 HP Stream 11, and it's capable of running the test version or the beta version of Windows 11. And I installed it. It took about 2 hours to upgrade once it finished doing all the stuff that a new computer does. And it's up and running. I've been installing some programs on it, and I haven't really started playing with it yet, but at least I got a computer that's got Windows 11 on it to test.
Excellent, thanks. And Bob, you've been just putting out a string of videos on Windows 11 stuff. In fact, we're going to see one today, which is, we're so fortunate that you're right off the mark on this, and you've got it installed and are doing instructional videos already on it. So well done.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch his videos to know what I'm doing.
Watch his videos to find out. Yeah. So go to Bob's channel. If we can't put, Bob sends me these all day long, like he doesn't understand. I have other things I've got to do. And he says, what do you think of this video? And he's putting them out like crazy. So go to his channel and have a look and see, because he'll certainly, there's certainly really, really excellent videos. And of course, a very timely topic as we move into Windows 11. And then now, all right, Dewey, tell us what's with the steaks.
Well, I am right now working on my story about infrared grilling. It'll either be a week or 2 weeks from today. And by the way, I want to comment on my background, which is different. I took this picture in 2007 in Shanghai, China. Shanghai is divided into two parts, the old city and the new city. I was standing on the old city side. It's divided by a river. It's called Puxi, and Shanghai, that part of Shanghai was the financial capital of the Orient for many centuries. And I'm looking at the new side of Shanghai, and what is startling is that 16 years before this photo was taken, there was but one 4-story building where you see all these skyscrapers. It's kind of astonishing.
Amazing.
It's called Shanghai Pudong.
All right. So we're going to hear about your steaks, though, because I'm interested in this. Okay.
You bet.
All right. All right.
And hungry.
Yeah, right. And Ray, what's new with you?
Well, I'm got my video editing class done.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now I'm gonna maybe stop by on Thursday and watch you guys to see what that goes live, and give me a chance to catch up on a lot of things.
Okay, excellent. You're on. We'll certainly invite you. That's good. What I was going to ask you, what software did they use for the video editing?
OpenShot.
OpenShot. Okay.
It's free.
Okay. And Bill, are you? How many more devices did you buy this week?
Well, I didn't buy any this week. I have a couple coming, and I'm really excited. So I will tell you about those in the near future.
For those,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, I was just going to tell everyone that this week I had my new air conditioning system put in the house, and I had an Ecobee. I never heard of Ecobee before. I heard of Nest and all this, but I was really interested to know all about Ecobee installed. And I'll tell everybody, I'll make a video on that and tell everybody about that. That was sort of cool.
Ron, interesting enough, our power company, that is the smart thermostat they provide to their customers for free.
Mm-hmm. Ecobee's been around a long time, actually.
Yeah. And it's just the same one that you get commercially, but it's offered as their smart thermostat.
Yeah, it's got some cool stuff. Bob, are you ready to roll?
Yeah. Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending July 23rd, 2021. Instagram finally gives users sensitive content control. This week, parent company Facebook announced that it was rolling out sensitive content control on Instagram, a filter to limit the amount of potentially upsetting content that the platform suggests to users in the Explore tab. Users are encouraged to click on the Explore tab when they want to discover other interesting accounts they do not yet follow. The types of accounts and content on Instagram varies greatly. The platform considers sexually suggestive or violent content to be sensitive. We believe people should be able to shape Instagram into the experience that they want, Facebook wrote in the announcement. Instagram does not allow hate speech, bullying, or any content that might present a risk of harm, but some of the allowed content may still be somewhat disquieting to certain users. The new sensitive content control feature allows those users to ensure they will not be presented with anything potentially upsetting. A nasty Linux System D security bug has been revealed. A vulnerability in unit deserialized of System D allows an attacker to supply arbitrary state across System D re-execution via notify access. This can be used to improperly influence System D execution and possibly lead to root privilege escalation. Affected releases are System D versions up to and including 239. Successful exploitation of this newest vulnerability enables any unprivileged user to cause a denial of service via a kernel panic. The attack can be done by a local attacker mounting a file system on a very long path. This causes too much memory space to be used in the System D stack, which results in a system crash. That's the bad news. The good news is that Red Hat product security and System D's developers have immediately patched the hole. If your distro is affected, patch it as soon as possible. The FTC unanimously backs your right to repair your own devices. Following an executive order from President Biden on 7/22/21, the Federal Trade Commission voted unanimously to adopt a new policy designed to support the growing right to repair movement. The FTC says it will also scrutinize repair restrictions for violations of the antitrust law that may violate the Sherman Act or promote monopolistic practices. On top of that, the FTC says it also plans to examine what kind of repair restrictions are unfair and will analyze any material claims made to purchasers in order to determine if these practices are in violation of the law. And as a matter of practice going forward, the FTC claims it will use an interdisciplinary approach to use more resources and a wider range of expertise to better tackle unlawful repair restrictions, both federally and at the state level with help from local officials. The FTC has a range of tools it can use to root out unlawful repair restrictions, and today's policy statement would commit us to move forward on this issue with new vigor. It remains to be seen how big tech companies like Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, and others will respond to the FTC's new policies. Hackers tricked Windows Hello facial recognition technology. By using just 2 photos, white hat hackers were able to bypass Windows Hello facial recognition tech and unlock a user's system. The Windows Security Gate uses an infrared sensor to identify a user's face, so all the hackers had to do was manipulate a USB webcam to deliver the images they needed, and the system was fooled into thinking the owner's face was present. We created a full map of the Windows Hello facial recognition flow and saw that the most convenient for an attacker would be to pretend to be the camera, because the whole system is relying on this input, said one of the hackers. Microsoft has already patched the vulnerability. For more, see Wired. Venmo removes global social feed. As part of several updates that Venmo announced this week, the controversial global social feed that allows anyone to see the details of everyone else's payments will be removed from the money transfer platform as part of our ongoing efforts to continually evolve the Venmo platform while staying true to the heart of the Venmo experience. We are removing the global feed, and the Friends feed is now the only social feed that will appear in the app, the company posted in a blog. Other changes to the app include easier navigation, an option to pay with up to 4 kinds of cryptocurrency, and expanded privacy controls. The company says the updated features will be rolling out over the next 2 weeks. The TSA issues a second security directive to pipelines. Earlier this week, the Transportation Security Administration, a branch of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, issued a second security directive to owners and operators of critical pipelines that transport hazardous materials. The initial security directive was issued in May following the Colonial Pipeline attack. It required pipeline operators to report cyber incidents to CISA, designate a cybersecurity coordinator, review security practices, and identify any remediation measures that need to be addressed. The second directive requires pipeline owners to implement specific mitigation measures, develop a recovery plan, and conduct a cybersecurity architecture design reviews. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was good. Do you want to go into your drivers? Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Is storing a digital driver's license on your phone a good idea? Moving to an entirely digital wallet makes a lost or stolen phone an even bigger headache. One of the less publicized features of the upcoming Apple iOS 15 is the ability to add your driver's license into your Apple Wallet. Without a doubt, it will be very convenient to store your digital driver's license alongside your proof of insurance and credit cards on your phone. It would also certainly be great to seamlessly scan your boarding pass and your ID when going through a TSA checkpoint at an airport. So what else should you consider when deciding if you should use this new feature? Many privacy experts have expressed concern that the increased ease of identity verification could lead to more vendors requesting ID from their customers. This would create another data point that companies or governments could use to track you online. Another concern here is that big tech companies will further embed themselves into our daily lives. If at any point digital identification becomes a requirement, you would need to own a smartphone. Finally, by collecting all your important personal information and documentation on your smartphone, you would be risking losing all that information at once in the event of a breach. From a risk management perspective, this would be like putting all of your eggs in one basket. In order to better protect yourself, you would want to diversify where your personal data is stored, so a mixed digital and physical storage may be your best bet. There are data breaches from governments and corporations in the news. Identity Force reports that there have been 31 data breaches so far this year. it is possible that the proliferation of digital identification and businesses requesting proof of identity will introduce a lot more opportunities for cybercriminals to steal this type of sensitive personal information. Let's weigh the pros and cons of backing up your license. Some states in the US already allow digital driver's licenses, but still require you to carry a physical copy. It's clear that we are not far from being able to replace a physical wallet with a smartphone. But just because you can do something doesn't mean that you necessarily should. On one hand, having both a digital and physical copy of your driver's license ensures that you have a backup if you lose one copy. On the other hand, having two copies of your driver's license could present additional opportunities for your ID to be stolen. If you moved to an entirely digital wallet and lost or had your phone stolen, that would be an even bigger headache. It's all about personal preference, and you should consider the trade-off between risk to your privacy and convenience when you are deciding whether or not to supplement or replace your physical ID with a digital version. Ultimately, we will all need to weigh our options and find the right solution that works best for us. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, lots of options for us, right? All right.
You have to weigh.
Yeah. Well, also with
all against the bad, right?
Yeah, all the new cars you're buying now, they have the Apple, your phones will be starting the car as well. So it's getting more digital for sure. All right, let's see. I guess so. We're gonna have a look at what Dewey has to say today. Sadly, it's not about steaks, but I'm sure that he's got some a really good talk for us today. We'll just share this.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is Tech News Update, July 26th, 2021. I've unknowingly established a pattern of doing a general tech news update about once every 6 weeks. So let's take a look at what's going on in the world of technology today. ReviewGeek.com reported this week that Amazon began rolling out a masculine-sounding voice option to its virtual assistant, Alexa. The company is also introducing a new wake word, Ziggy, to trigger the assistant. There are two other notable voice options, Shaquille O'Neal and Melissa McCarthy. Shaq is in the house to make your speakers bounce, boom shakalaka, commented the former basketball great. Both celebrities bring their fun personalities to Alexa. You can say, hey, Melissa, or hey, Shaq, to access all of the standard features that Alexa has to offer. The celebrity pop personalities are available to purchase for $4.99 a pop. My Tech Talk last week was on the subject of on-demand streaming services. TFS viewer Jeff Wilkinson's left a great tip in the chat box that I'd like to share with you. He suggested that a useful tool to help a streaming service that best fits your needs, to find one that helps best fit your needs, can be found at www.suppose.tv. Write that address down. It's a good one. I checked it out, and Jeff's advice is good. However, if you tend to have expensive needs, be prepared to pay. I have 3 streaming services, and I pay a fair amount more than $47 or whatever. ReviewGeek.com also reported that Wise is expanding its new home monitoring system with leak and climate sensors. These sensors require the Wise home monitoring core system to act as a hub. You can't buy them standalone and make them work, though Wise says such an option might be in the works. Kind of interesting. The new Wise Sense leak sensor, that's a mouthful, is competitively priced at $29.98 for a 3-pack. WISE leak sensors have a 500-foot range and can be placed anywhere leaks are likely to occur, like underneath sinks, dishwashers, and so forth. The included WISE sensor probe is designed to go anywhere, catching leaks in impossible to reach places. The new WISE climate sensor is $24.98 for a 3-pack. Like the leak sensor, it's an accessory to the WISE home monitoring system and works with the WISE Sense Hub. It has up to 500-foot range and easily tracks temperature and humidity in any room when using the WISE app. So you got to get the app. 2 months ago, I did a tech talk on the importance of seniors who have a significant hearing loss choosing hearing aids as a solution to their problem. I mentioned that seniors with a significant uncorrected hearing loss were 30% more likely to experience a fall, 40% likely or more likely to be depressed, and up to 50% more likely to develop dementia. Those are startling statistics. Well, researchers at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health recently conducted a study to determine if hearing impairment was also linked with poorer physical ability. They recruited nearly 3,000 US adults, average age 79, who had different levels of hearing ability that ranged from normal hearing to severe hearing loss. Participants with hearing impairment were found to have significantly poorer physical function, especially balance, than those with normal hearing. Also, they had worse walking endurance. Nearly 6 months ago, I first told you about Locast, the free local broadcast TV streaming service. I put free in sort of semi-quotes, that was then operating in 29 US cities. Locast just announced that it's now beginning service in its 35th city in the US, Pittsburgh. This Locast service will also reach Morgantown, West Virginia, 75 miles away. Pittsburgh is also home to university students who may qualify for the Locast Cares program, which is a way for those who'd like to watch local TV channels but can't afford to donate $5.50 a month, which is kind of the requisite donation. It's the minimum that you need to donate to stop nagging interruptions every 15 minutes. Locast uses the internet to help TV viewers stay informed about local weather, news, sports, and so forth through local broadcast TV stations, especially in areas where OTA, over-the-air reception, can be unreliable. Locast operates under the Copyright Act of 1976, which allows nonprofit translator services to rebroadcast local station content without receiving a copyright license from the broadcaster. Locast is now available to well more than half of the US population, but isn't available in Canada because of differences in the way TV broadcasters operate there. CordcuttersNews.com reported recently that Amazon will add a huge collection of classic TV series, that's kind of plural, to both Prime Video and it's the result of a deal. It'll be in both Prime Video and IMDb TV. It's the result of a deal with Sony Pictures TV that will bring content from producer Norman Lear, including All in the Family, Maude, Different Strokes, and The Jeffersons, to cite a few examples. The titles will be divided between Prime Video and IMDb TV and are mostly already available. By the way, Norman Lear turns 99 tomorrow, July 27th. Happy birthday, Norman. Sling TV announced this week that their newly redesigned user interface officially launched on Fire TV streaming devices. It has an improved grid guide, more personalization features, and an easy-to-navigate interface compared to the aging UI still used on Roku and other streaming hardware. I like that interface on Roku. Anyway, the new UI will arrive on Roku later this year and eventually find its way to both Apple TV and Android TV devices. Another recent article from cordcuttersnews.com revealed that 82% of U.S. households with broadband subscribe to at least one SVOD, streaming video on demand subscription. In other words, they subscribe to at least one. In fact, most streamers subscribe to about 4 streaming services and pay a monthly bill averaging $47 for them. I subscribe to 3 and pay more than $47, I'll tell you that. The majority of those are older viewers who still prefer watching traditional TV. 77% are above age 55, and 50% are retirees who are less likely to have kids in the home. They also tend to be less affluent and like to save money by being cord cutters, which is one of the big reasons we do it, but there are other reasons. Finally, in a July 15 story at reviewgeek.com, Aston Martin, the automaker, just revealed its hybrid plug-in supercar, the Valhalla. It'll star in the upcoming James Bond film, No Time to Die. By the way, upcoming means about maybe 2024. At the beating heart of Valhalla is its all-new powertrain featuring 3 motors. Foremost is a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, which produces 737 horsepower at 7,200 RPM. That's phenomenal. 2 more electric motors add an additional 200 horsepower. It does 0 to 62 in 2.5 seconds, except part of the tires probably don't make it because they're on the track. Valhalla's infotainment display supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That's nice to know. You get all this for just $1,260,000 USD or $1,582,800 Canadian. Now that's today's estimated price, but the Valhalla will first be built. It won't show up in dealer showrooms until 2023. Well, thanks for watching. That's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm sticking with it. Stay safe, and good Lord willing, I'll be back next week.
So, Ron, are you buying one of these soon?
It's already ordered.
All right.
It's already ordered.
I'm waiting for the video.
Yeah. Just yes, indeed. That's quite the car. That's going to be really amazing. Just to show you that great minds think alike. I had no idea that Hewie or Dewey was going to talk about Suppose TV. Well, Suppose TV is exactly what we're playing. Hewie did, of course, an article on it about a year ago, and it's on the Premier Service today. And that's one of the things. Hewie's segment on the Premier Service today is on Suppose TV, which is, and I had no idea. So it just happened that way, right? Amazing. So if you want to learn more about Suppose TV, listen today on our Premier Service. I guess we got Hewie now. You're up, hey?
I definitely am. And let's see, I don't need this.
That's the ad. Are you putting on State Farm ads now?
Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Facebook Tips Part 4. Privacy Settings Continued. I'm Hewie Poplock. Today we're going to talk about privacy settings and tools and continue on from where we were from Part 3. We have previously talked about the settings and the settings and privacy, which we clicked here, came up with the page that we're on. We went through the general settings, security and login, and your Facebook information. Then we started for Part 3. We talked about privacy. We talked about the privacy shortcuts, check a few important settings, manage your profile, learn more with Privacy Basics. Today, we're going to continue with learning more about Privacy Basics, then go on to your activity and how people find and contact you. And how you get message requests. And we will complete the privacy section. Manage your privacy. Posts. How do I choose who can see photos and other things I post on Facebook? Let's open that in a new link so we can come back to this menu. Every time you post a status update, a photo, or a video, you can choose who can see it. You use the menu at the top of your post to choose the audience. Most people want to share things with their friends. You can also choose to share publicly or with a specific group of people. To let anyone see something you post, including strangers and people who aren't on Facebook, choose public. If you accidentally share a post with the wrong audience, you can always change it. Go to the post and open the menu in the upper right-hand corner. Choose which group of people you want to be able to see the post. If you frequently customize the audience for your posts, you might like using lists. Lists help you organize group of friends. You can choose from close friends, acquaintances, and restricted or create your own custom lists. To add friends to a new list, log into Facebook on a computer. Then go to the Friends section on the left side of your news feed and click More. To create a custom list, click Create List, then name your list and add friends. To add friends to an existing list, click See All Friends. Next to a friend's name, use the menu to select the list you want to add them to. Timeline. How can I manage what other people post on my timeline? You get to decide whether friends are allowed to post things on your timeline or not. To manage who can post on your timeline, go to More, type Settings, and select Timeline and Tagging. You can also decide whether you want to review posts that friends tag you in before they appear on your timeline. Keep in mind that a post you're tagged in might be seen in newsfeed or search results before you've reviewed it. Newsfeed. How can I change what shows up on my newsfeed? Everyone's newsfeed is different because it's based on your own activity on Facebook. Things like who you're friends with and which pages you like help determine what shows up. There are a few steps you can take on a computer to manage what shows up in your newsfeed. If you know you want to see posts from certain people, add them to your close friends list. You can even choose to get a notification every time they post. To add people to your close friends list, click on Friends List on the left side of your news feed. Select Close Friends. Click on Edit List and choose which friends to include. Another way to make sure you see content you care about is to like pages about people, organizations, and topics you find interesting. You can use search to find the page you're interested in. Then navigate to a specific page and click the Like button. Posts from pages you like may appear in your newsfeed. If you're not interested in posts from a certain friend or page, you can unfollow them and you won't see their posts in your news feed anymore. People and pages you unfollow won't be notified, and you can start following them again at any time. To unfollow, click Following in the lower right corner of their cover photo. What shows up in Facebook search results? You can search for anything on Facebook like people, pages, groups, videos, or topics like recipes. Search results are personalized and are based on many factors like connections on Facebook and the relevance of the content to the search query. Search results only include things visible to you. Let's take a look at what this means. Any post you've shared exclusively with your friends will only show up in your friends' search results. If you've made a public post, anyone may be able to see it when they search for something related to what's in your post. To manage who sees your posts, you can use the menu at the top of your status updates, photos, or videos. If you've hidden posts from your timeline, no one can see them on your timeline, but they may still show up in search results and other places on Facebook. To find and manage who can see these posts, tap on Activity Log in the menu below your cover photo on your profile. More privacy settings and tools. We've covered the privacy shortcuts. How about your activity? Who can see your future posts? You can mark on there whether you want it to be friends or friends accept or public. And there's more as well. You can specific friends or only me. We'll close that. So you can change that information, and that's generally what you're going to see in some of these. Review all of your posts and things you're tagged in. You can go to the activity log by clicking here, and it'll show you that information. Limit the audience for posts you've shared with friends or friends with. Limit the audience for posts you've shared with friends of friends or public. And you can limit that. Who can see the people, pages, and lists you follow. You can have it set for public again, friends, friends of friends, or just you. How people can find and contact you. Who can send you friend requests. You can have everyone, you can have, or you can limit it. Who can see your friends list. You can set it to be only me. No one else can see who's on your friends list. Who can look you up using the email address you provided. Again, you can list it or not. Who can look you up using the phone number you've provided? Of course, if you don't provide one, they aren't going to be able to use it anyway. Do you want search engines outside of Facebook to link to your profile? Should be set at no. Unless there's a specific reason you want. Unless there's a specific reason that you want to. How to get message requests. Decide whether message requests go to your chats list, your message request folder, or whether to receive them at all. Potential connections, friends of friends on Facebook, chats, you can edit that. And you can say message requests or don't receive requests. Other people, others on Facebook, again, you can set what they can do and accounts on Instagram as well. Don't forget Instagram is owned by Facebook. So that's it for this page of privacy and settings tools. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. That's the end of a four-part series.
Thank you, Hewie.
We'll have them all four on my channel, and I also have made a group.
Excellent, thank you. And I was doing that. You may want to play this back and go over your Facebook settings. That's what I was doing as you were going along and having a look at those. Bob, now Bob produced, we had a question and someone asked and said, is Windows 11 going to look like Windows 10? And Bob did a video on this. I thought it was so interesting. Bob, do you want to play that now?
Mm-hmm. Question was asked, is Windows 11 different from Windows 10? And the answer is, it depends on lots of things. And there are, of course, differences in Windows 11 from Windows 10. But as far as does it look any different, it depends on your settings. If you look at my screen, it's not what you are used to seeing when people talk about Windows 11. That's because I can change what appears on my screen. Do a right click on any empty part of the screen, and under personalize, when this opens up, I chose this as my background, and I got this from one of the pictures that I had taken. So it's one of my images that I'm using as a background. When you first set up Windows 11, it probably will look like this. This is what most people get to see when they first come up with Windows 11. And yes, it's radical. but it doesn't have to stay this way. Again, right click, go to personalize, and I can go right back to where I started before I made any changes. And as you can see here, there are some other changes. This one has the light background, still that same abstract cloud formation, but there are others. And you choose what you want for your background. You can change your colors, your themes, all sorts of things. You also have control on one window for display or two windows to display if you happen to have two monitors or a laptop and a monitor. One, you can have two separate displays. Just don't do what I just finished doing, and that's making a recording of all of this. But I was demonstrating on screen number 2, and by default, it's screen number 1 that was being recorded. And screen number 1, I didn't have the same display on screen 1 as I did on screen 2. So you need to be careful when you do make changes, and if you have more than one monitor. Biggest change is Windows 11 has its taskbar in the center of the screen. There's still a start menu. No, it's not all the way on the left side of the screen. That's because the taskbar isn't all the way on the left side of the screen. There used to be what they call a fix, or a way of manipulating it so that this would go back to the left side of the screen to be more like it was in Windows 10 and Windows 8 or 7. Microsoft has now put a stop to that fix. It won't work. Besides, if you're going to use Windows 11, you might as well get used to Windows 11. Otherwise, why not stay with Windows 10? Windows 10 is going to be here for quite some time yet. It's supported all the way up until 2025. So there is not a reason that you need to change over to Windows 11. If you like something new, something a bit different, maybe you want to take a look at it. If your system is ready for Windows 11, you can change over to Windows 11. You then have 10 days to decide whether that's something you want to stay with, or you can just revert back to Windows 10. So as I said, the big difference, your taskbar is in the center of the screen. There's still a start button, but it's not all the way on the left. It's now on the left side of the taskbar, which is in the center. When you click on the start menu, guess what? It looks different. It's supposed to be different. And you can still get to all of your apps as you could when you were using Windows 10. Some suggested ones are pinned, makes it easier to get to those that you probably use quite often. There are also some recommended ones on the bottom. There's a more button, so there are quite a few others that you can choose from. And if you click on all apps, this is pretty much what it was before, a listing of all your apps in the start menu in alphabetical order. There's also a search bar. So if you know which app or program you're looking for, you can type it into the search bar, type what you're looking for. And as soon as you start typing, there it is. But in the start menu, you don't really have to open up the search bar. As soon as this opens, start typing. It automatically fills it in on the search bar. One less step, and you still wind up at the same place. That was also available in Windows 10. You didn't have to use the search bar. You could simply open up the start menu and start typing for what you're looking for. And you don't have to just look for apps. You can look for settings. You can look for all kinds of things. As it says here, find results in apps, in documents, or on the internet. So that's your start menu. The other one is your desktops. You can have more than one desktop. So if you're working on a bunch of things, set some of them up on one desktop, and you just open up the appropriate desktop. This is the widgets. We got a hint of this in Windows 10. the very last update gave us something about news and weather. Well, basically, that's what the widget is, only instead of it being here, where you could see just a little pop-up, now it has its own widget. And when you open it, it gives you the weather, and you can do some changes in here. You can add widgets once they become available. You can watch your photos on this date, all kinds of things. You can have a watch list for stocks and whatever. That's what the widget is all about. You can also add things to the taskbar. For instance, I wanted a quick little way to get to my settings. Yes, there's a shortcut key. You can use the Windows key and the I key, and you go to settings. Once settings opened, I pinned it to the taskbar. So now all I have to do is click here, and my settings opens up. And you'll notice this looks different, but you still have all the same things that you can get to as you did in Windows 10. Your File Explorer, when you open it, it probably looks a little bit different to you. Certainly the icons have changed. Just some of the changes in Windows 11. By no means even a small inkling of all the changes. I have a Windows 11 playlist on my YouTube channel where I produce videos of some of the new things within Windows 11. And if you're interested, take a look at it and see if you can learn something before you change over to Windows 11. My only advice is, if you intend to use Windows 11, then use Windows 11. Many people are looking to see, how can I make it look like Windows 10 or Windows 7? Best way to make it look like Windows 10 is to stay with Windows 10. If you want to use it like Windows 7, then why not install Windows 7? I don't recommend it. It's no longer supported. But if that's what you want to run, it is your computer, and it is your choice. Now, since I produced this little video, guess what? You can now put that taskbar to the left-hand side. You have an option when you go in there. So I guess Microsoft had enough complaints that they made a change. That's how quickly, if you're on the insider, you're going from one to the next very, very quickly. Also, if you're an insider, you're a beta tester. And a beta tester is not designed for the faint of heart, because nothing says that the next version that's released will crash your computer. That's the chance you take of being an insider. So don't make it your main computer as Windows 11 beta testing, okay? Those are the only advices I'll offer.
Thanks, Bob. Probably lots of questions in our question and answer period for you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Okay, I also posted a link in the chat for the channel that I have devoted to Windows 11. Has lots of tutorials, tips and tricks. You'll find that in the chat.
Thanks so much. Ray, you're going to be up in a second. I just want to say goodbye to our YouTube group. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you again next week. If you want to come over and participate in our question and answer period, we have room. We've got 77. Yeah, so we've got lots of room over here. Come on over and Bob will let you in and you can participate in the Q&A session. And to remind you, well, if you stay on the channel, our premiere service will start at 10:30. So you're up, Ray. Let's go.
All right, let's get some sound here and share my screen. And I think I want to do this. Oops, wrong one. Let me close that one down. Let's see. All of my, try one more time here. Here we go. All right. Caleb Scott and Leona Lewis, You're the Reason. This is a duet. Now, a friend of mine, and his name is Wilfred, and he's on our Tech for Seniors today. He joins me with the music listening club that I host every Thursday evening. And he played this song at one of our recent meetings. And the minute I heard it, I knew I wanted to showcase this for you folks. So Callum Scott and Leona Lewis were names I never heard of before. But now I needed to know more about the couple who was singing a beautiful love song with voices that were made for each other. Now, what they have in common is they are both British and both got their start with reality TV singing competitions in England. So Scott is 32 years old, and in 2015 was a contestant on Britain's Got Talent. And he came in 6th place, but his audition has been viewed more than 321 million times on YouTube. This is what today's technology and music is all about, the incredible ways that people can find the music that they like and love. His performance led to a record contract, and over the next 2 years, his songs have risen to the top of the UK charts. Now, Lewis is 36 years old, and she achieved national recognition when she won the 3rd series of the X Factor, another British music competition, back in 2006. Her first studio album, Spirit, in 2007, is considered the best-selling debut album by a female artist in the 21st century. Now, this was going back when the downloads were very popular. Her rendition of A Moment Like This broke a record when it was downloaded more than 50,000 times in less than 30 minutes. Again, numbers that are astronomical. So in 2017, Callum Scott released the song You're the Reason, and he did it twice. He recorded it once as a solo version, and then as the duet you're about to hear with Leona Lewis. My final thought, with all that is going on in today's challenging world, my feeling is you can't have too many beautiful love songs. So here we go. Let me first change back to optimize for video.
Wow,
Hey,
what voices.
Goosebumps.
You like that one today?
Yep.
Excellent.
Good.
Well done, Ray. Well done. That was
Great choice.
Yes, good choice. Excellent.
Can't have too many love songs.
And remember, everyone, that will be added to Ray's music playlist. So on the Tuesday newsletter, if you haven't already done that, simply save the playlist, and all Ray's music just gets added to the playlist, so you can listen to that as well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. It's top of the hour. I have to actually skedaddle, so I'm going to be turning the meeting over to Hewie. Hewie is going to take controls now. Be sure, and when you leave, Hewie, turn the lights out. I'm going to let's have a look here if I can find you. Where are you? Up here. Should be able to make host. I think you've now got
host.
You've now got controls of the meeting.
Right.
So we'll see remind everyone, Hewie, so remind everyone at the end of the next 20 minutes, remind them about Tech for Senior Live. Remember, remind them about Chris Gould coming on the show on Thursday, right? I got to get to Bob says go. I got to get to my dental appointment.
All right. Getting you out of here is like pulling teeth. Yeah.
All right. You guys behave yourself. Have a good time. I'll see everyone Thursday or next week. Okay. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pulling teeth isn't on his agenda.
I hope not. Anyway, some Q&A, I guess. We've got about 20 minutes or so. I see Jim's got his hand up first.
Yeah, on a Chromebook, how do you save the chat? I'm looking at the chat, participants menu in the chat menu, and I don't find anything that says save chat.
I have not used the new software, so I don't know, and I don't have my Chromebook in this room, so I can't tell you. Anyone know?
Doesn't it not work like Windows, where you can right click on it, do copy, and then paste it somewhere else to save it?
Well, yeah, you can do that, but Zoom has a feature on the on the PC where it says save chat, and it sends it automatically into a text as a text message, the whole thing in a folder for under Zoom. So you don't have to copy and paste it.
I don't know. Of course, it's a new version for the Chromebook. Hopefully, if it's not there now, they will be adding it,
Jim,
as they improve it. So, go ahead,
did you
Bill.
go under? Did you go under more?
There is no more.
To the right.
Yeah, I'm in chat, and
No,
to the right, I don't have any more.
Okay, Betty has her hand up. Maybe she has the answer.
Yeah, Betty.
Yeah, if you go to the right where there's, where you're sending a message at the bottom, there's a file, but beyond file, there's 3 dots. Click the 3 dots.
That would be the more.
Yeah, the only problem is that on mine, there aren't any dots. On the PC, they're the dots. Like I'm looking at the bottom, it says to everyone, type message here, and there's nothing else.
Are you sure you're in the right version of the newer version of Zoom?
Yeah, this is that, I want to call it PSA, whatever that new
PWA.
The new one is. I downloaded it.
Are you full screen?
Are you on a Chromebook? Betty, are you on a Chromebook?
I'm on a Chromebook and I'm full screen.
No, not right now.
Okay.
I just highlight it and copy it, put it into a Word document that I've got all of the chats in that Word document.
You're not using a Chromebook. You're not using a Chromebook.
No way.
Yeah, well, on the Chromebook, I can do exactly that, but that's 4 different steps. Whereas with the PC, you just click the dots and it saves it automatically to a folder with the date and text, or the entire chat thing, but not on the Chromebook. At least my Chromebook.
Well, apparently, we don't have an answer for you, Jim, but we'll have to look for it.
Okay.
Or hope it appears. Greg, you're next.
Okay, I sent you a text on the Starlink satellite stuff. You can put your name in or your name and your city, and it'll show you the time that those satellites will go over your head. And I saw them, you can see them, they're in a kind of a mismatched line, but they're really long.
Yeah, and they're starting to get into place. I saw one article. I did not read all of it. I only read part of it, but apparently they're all starting now to get in their places, and that'll improve the ability for people to get Starlink in different areas.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of organize themselves. They kind of move apart and close together all the time.
Yeah, it takes a few months. When they go out, they're in a straight line. And if you look at them when they first are released and you can see the lights of them, it looks like a whole bunch of like a dotted line. And then they start going in their individual places and then get lined up in their individual orbits.
Yeah, my download speed right now is 352.
Mine's 800 and something.
Well, you're just cooler than I am.
Yeah. All right, Greg. Thank you. Betty, you were next. You're muted. Betty, oh, there you go.
No, go ahead. I was on the other.
Oh, go ahead. No, you were muted. All right. No, you're muted again. Now we lost your picture.
No, go ahead to another subject.
Okay, your hand is up. Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Oh, lower hand.
Bill H.
Yes, on those Starlink satellites, how do they move?
Well, they're controlled, I believe, and they're also in orbits. They're set orbits, and they have, there's ways for them to thrust them to get them in the orbit that they want them, I believe.
They communicate with each other, what the article said,
Yeah.
and they kind of talk between themselves and they realign. It's really, really pretty interesting.
Huh. Thanks.
Sue, you have your hand up. You're muted.
Yes. Is there a way to save the chat on the iPad?
I don't, anyone know?
I think you can do the same thing, copy it and paste it into a document.
Yeah, you may be able to copy and paste it by highlighting it. If not, I will suggest to Ron that we get a copy of the chat when we get the recording, and he can put it somewhere where you can get it, or he can send it to those who request it.
Thank you.
Shandon?
Yeah, I had a comment on Facebook. Quite often it goes around that if you want to see more stuff from your people, post this and get all your friends to say yes or whatever.
That's a sham.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but people still do it. Thank you. Good to know.
Yep. Yeah, I post after. I have friends that post that on a regular basis, and I keep telling them, no, don't do that. It doesn't do anything, and they keep posting it. So tell your friends who do it, stop doing it.
Thank you.
Pat, you are next.
Yes, on iPads, you cannot save the chat. I've checked with Zoom, and I think it's in the works, but right now you basically have to email it.
And speaking of Zoom, Bob, I know you got your hand up. And maybe this is what you're going to talk about, so I'll talk about it first. Zoom made a big announcement a couple of days ago that they now have apps available within Zoom. And I've watched a couple of videos on it, not knowing quite how it's going to all work. And they don't either. Right? Well, I shouldn't say they don't know how it's going to work. It's going to act differently for different apps. But there's 50 top ones that they've listed, but there's 82 pages of them. And I think there's about 6 or 8 or 10 on each page. Apparently they're going to be free. Some may not be, some that there may be a cost to them, but for most of them to work, everyone that wants to see whatever the information is or deal with whatever the apps are has to have that app installed on their Zoom as well in most cases. But there's games, there's transcriptions, there's all kinds of apps. I saw there was even an Evernote app. I'm trying to find out what it does and whether it's something that I might want to try or take a look at. So it's they're trying to make Zoom a platform, and they're really trying to make some big changes in Zoom. And this all happened within the last since the 22nd, I think, or 22nd. They announced the new apps. And if you look at the bottom, if you're on a PC, you'll see probably, and you got the latest version, you'll see a button down there for apps at the bottom. If you click it, you don't see any apps because you haven't installed them yet. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with that and see whether we're going to, whether we'll use any of them here or not. Most likely for a while, we won't. Bob G, you were next.
I brought up the meeting on a Chromebook, and there is no way to save the chat. not right now.
Okay.
Okay.
And,
Thank you.
and that's the same for the iPad. I was just checking. There's no way to save it there either.
Something
Chris
for Zoom to work
Wazinski.
on.
Chris Rosinski,
Thanks,
I was
Bob.
just thinking about you the other day, wondering, I couldn't remember seeing you the last few weeks. So welcome back if you were, unless you were just quiet. But we're glad you're here and you have your hand up.
We are on the road and traveling and have gotten as far as New York State. But here's the question. We are about ready to throw our Chromebooks in the junk pile. And this is because
No, my drive.
Edith spent a lot of time scanning stuff to my drive. You've heard this story before, but I'll just update you. We scanned a lot of stuff to my drive in folders and subfolders. Now we want to bring them down and put them on a memory stick or some external piece of media. And when we go to get them and bring them down, it only will bring randomly a few of those files down and not all the files down. We don't want to go grabbing each individual file and bringing it down. So we want to know how to get that stuff on my drive. Some of that stuff, even though we put it in folders, migrated to some who knows where, and we search in the search engine, we can't find it. It's up there somewhere lost, but it's a total mess for us because we can't get it. Have you got any suggestions on how we get our file folders down to a external memory stick or a SD card or something to be resident on the computer?
Well, just recently, there is now an app for PC for Google Drive. And what I have found now that I can see the Google Drive on my left-hand side when I open up the file manager, just like I do with OneDrive there, and everything is listed there. And it should be easier now than to have a memory stick and move it from a PC onto that memory stick. I haven't played with that part. I'll have to do that. But I just installed this week that app and it works great. I do have now a Drive G on my PC and it is my entire Google Drive.
Okay, so you're saying we have to, if we want to bring the stuff down from Google Drive to the Chromebook, we can't do it. We have to go down to a PC.
I spent a considerable video and time showing you how I could do it, and what I could do. I don't know that apparently it wasn't what you need, and I didn't know what else to show you. So I'm just giving you an alternative. You had asked whether that could be done prior to you going on the road, just to get it on the stick. So that might be a way to do it, but I don't know. I can't answer you here because I did a lot of research on it. I tried to do a couple of videos for you and show you what you could do. If that's not working, I'm not sure what else at this point I would be able to tell you.
Okay, when we thank you for that huge effort, but the bottom line is it doesn't work. It wants to bring you you can get a file at a time, but
you can't
get a file.
You can get one doc. You can't get a file. A file would not transfer. All I could do is if I wanted to get it anywhere, get it off of my drive and saved anywhere else, whether it be an external hard drive or a memory stick, I would have to take the file folder and create the file folder on the memory stick, and then document by document, I could move it. That was the only way I could do it.
Okay,
And
sometime
even,
the next.
I just tried it on my Chromebook, and it did block it, but it said that there was third-party cookies that had to be enabled to allow it to be downloaded to the Chromebook. So you had to look for cookies. There's a big tutorial on Drive that tells you how to do it.
And in the meantime, I'll check.
You might want to take there.
In the meantime, I will check using the PC app and see if I can do what you want to do as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, because I was even at our daughter's house where they have super fast Wi-Fi and I still couldn't get it to switch on from my Chromebook to either a external hard drive or a memory stick with just one file folder.
Okay.
It would only move over 1 or 2 documents.
Okay, I will try and play with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Really appreciate it.
Good to
those-
see you on.
Are those files resident on the drive or are they resident on the Chromebook?
The resident on the drive.
They're resident on Google's My Drive on
The cloud.
a Chromebook. So I'm presuming that it goes up to the cloud because
Yeah.
it's My Drive.
Okay. So you're trying to download it from the cloud to a USB stick.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I'll play with that this week and see if I can come up with anything.
You'll
Any
be
other
our hero.
questions?
You'll be our hero. Thank you.
I'm trying to be. Love to be at hero status. Any other questions? We are at 1:22 Eastern time. Ron always likes to use Pacific time, but don't forget at 1:30 we have the premiere, and that's on YouTube. And don't forget to join us Thursday for Tech for Senior Live. And Tech for Senior Live is not on Zoom. We use a program called StreamYard, and you're able to see it either on Facebook, on our channel, on our Tech for Senior page on Facebook, or on our YouTube channel. And it is live. You can chat with us, and we're having Chris Gould as our special guest. And last week we had Michael Daniels with us, and the week before that was Bill James.
Right.
So please join us Thursday. Join me on the Windows Special Interest Group for the Central Florida Computer Society on the second Sunday of the month. If you want to have a link, if you go to Hewie.net, there's a place to sign up for my newsletter. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for Tech for Seniors at www.techforsenior.com. And you can sign up for the newsletter there, and you'll have all of the links for all of the things where we save things and what we do with everything. Bob, any last words?
No, that's it. You covered it. Ron should be proud.
Yeah, I hope the Novocaine works and he's not in any pain, and
yep,
and that we can have him back by Thursday without any problems. And don't forget the premiere. And I don't even remember what I did for it, but I know I did talk about suppose.tv. If you're thinking at all of ever doing cord cutting, it is a website that you just pick and choose what channels or what networks that you like. It will then, and you can put them in order of priority, and it'll tell you what streaming service or services you may have to combine to get all of what your choices are, but it'll show you how to do that. Shandon, one last question before we go.
What is this premiere thing that you're talking about, please?
Just go to our YouTube channel, and it will start automatically on the half hour in about 6 minutes.
All right, thank you.
And then it'll be available after that as well. But if you want to watch it as it's being premiered, it is a 20-minute playback of a couple of the articles that were done a year ago on Tech for Seniors. And there's no introduction, there's no information, and it's something that can be used. Somebody's got some noise here. It can be used for your user groups, or you can be used for your own personal use. You can share it with your friends, whatever. All of these programs that we do, Bob, myself, Bill James, and Ray, and of course Dewey, all of our stuff is available for user groups and for you to share with other people to just go ahead. You don't need our special permission to use them. Please use them. We spend a lot of time with them. We want them to have as much use as we can.
Thank you.
And on that note, I'm going to end the meeting. And if you're go to the YouTube channel, watch the premiere in about 4 minutes. So thanks for joining. Ray, on behalf of Ray and Bob, myself, Bill James, Dewey, and Ron, who's missing, have a happy, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.